We had to tell them that the tiger still had the arm.
They did ask in hospital, is the arm coming? And I said, no, it's inside a tiger. There wasn't enough left below the elbow to make it worth saving. So they've actually shortened the arm up to about here, which makes it a lot easier to put the artificial arm on. Plus it then got rid of any possibility of infection from the tiger bite.
We'll give you something through one of these taps in your arm that sends you off to sleep, OK?
Yeah, that's the better.
Are you allergic to anything?
Tigers.
I've got a black sense of humour anyway, so that when they ask me, am I allergic to anything? So what do you answer after you had your arm eaten by a tiger? Yes, tigers.
Nigel was in hospital for 4 weeks and had 2 further operations.
The first one was the night when I was brought in, where they just basically shortened it up and neatened it up. And then a couple of days later, when they checked there was no serious infection, then they sewed it all up again.
Once he'd recovered, Nigel returned to what he loves best, working with animals. The circus did not destroy the tiger because Nigel broke one of the cardinal rules: never to put any part of your body into the cage.
People ask me, you know, do I want the tiger put down? I said, no, I mean, he was only playing. No, I mean, he's beautiful. It wasn't his fault.
When this cub grows up, he will be lethal. Clearly, people working with adult tigers need to be aware of the risks involved and be properly trained. Basic safety procedures must be followed. If they're not, it could lead to big trouble.
Silly accident. I took a shortcut at work and 99 times out of 100 you get away with it, and just this once I didn't.
Since the 1970s, there have been constant stories about big cats roaming the British countryside. This is a black panther, the dark form of the leopard. Despite many eyewitness reports, there's been very little evidence to back up these sightings. Then there was a recent incident in the sleepy village of Trelech in South Wales, which added to the mystery.
I had claw marks exactly an inch apart, all the way from right here to under my chin.
Stories about big cats roaming around Britain have become part of rural folklore. If there are black panthers out there, they would pose a real threat to humans. Their teeth and claws are 4 centimeters long. A mauling from a cat like that could cause serious injury, or worse. The farming community of Trelech in South Wales has a population of just over 2,000. 11-year-old Josh Hopkins was walking with his brother and some friends in a field near to his home.
There was 4 of us up the woods, me, Jeremy, Emily and Amy. Me and Emily started walking, and she waited at the top. I'm going back. See you later.
Josh left the others to go in search of his pet cat, Sylvester.
I got down to the post over there, and he ran off.
The cat had sensed danger.
Started calling it, and I saw a tail in the grass, so I thought, oh, that must be Sylvester. And when I approached it and got a bit close, it was a bit bigger than I thought, and it went up on its back legs, caught me with its paw here, and then I screamed and it like stopped, ran off towards the farm up there, and I went that way to warn my brother and the other lot that there was a big cat. Run! Run!
Terrified, Josh ran to warn his friends of the danger.
Run! I met up with him and he said, oh, what happened? I told him what happened, and then we all came back to the house.
Josh's mother was shocked when she saw her injured son.
His face was just blood all running down his face. So I opened the door and he just kept on insisting, no, Mum, it was a cat. It was a big cat. It was as big as our dog.
My mum thought I'd fallen out of a tree because I had all this blood on my face and all. She didn't really believe me at the start. When I got all cleaned up, she saw the claw marks.
It was clear that his wounds were caused by something far bigger than any domestic animal.
I could see the scratches down his face were, even though there was a lot of blood there, were clean. Almost like a razor blade had been down his face.
I had claw marks exactly an inch apart, all the way from about here to under my chin.
And when I looked under his chin, he'd got a hole under his chin where he said the cat had hooked him with its paw. The police arrived and they had a good look at Josh, and they were quite happy to accept that it was a big cat, because there had been big cat reports around here for several years.
It seems that this case has added to the growing list of evidence.
They suggested that they contact the cat expert to come and talk to Josh, find out exactly what happened, so that he can work out what it was that attacked him.
Big cat expert Danny Nineham has his own theory about how these animals came to be in Britain.
People used to walk these big cats around on leads, just like you have a domestic dog.
The Dangerous Wild Animals Act of 1976 forced owners to license their pets or have them put down.
People then had to either get the licence, take them to a zoo, but zoos don't want them. The third option then was to take them out into the countryside and totally release them.
These big cats may have bred in the wild.
In the last 10 years, I've dealt with 500 cases of big cat sightings throughout the UK, and 40 of those are close encounters and non-fatal attacks on people.
The police wouldn't have put big cat in the equation, even though they're always reported, but they're treated like UFOs and fairies at the bottom of the garden, aren't they?
But Josh's case was unique, as his attack yielded physical evidence.
The adult female cuffed Josh across his face with the claws semi-retracted. If they'd have been fully retracted, they wouldn't have had no damage to his face.
Now, he said normally one of these cats, when it attacks, they extend their claws right out and it would have ripped his face off.
And when I told his mother this, she was physically sick.
From Josh's description of the animal, it appears he was extremely lucky to escape with just scratches.
Josh, luckily, didn't run. He stood his ground and kept and maintained eye contact, and he screamed.
If Josh had taken fright and turned and run away straight away, it might have seen him as prey, chased him and jumped on him and dragged him down.
I think it ran away because I screamed. There wasn't really anything else that I did to it that would make it run away.
The cat had no cubs with it. The cat wasn't cornered. The cat just thought to itself, I got an open escape route here, and it just took off and left Josh, and Josh took off in the other direction. He was just a very lucky young man.
If this big cat is still roaming South Wales, it could attack again.
There's been loads of sightings around here. There's been sightings down the bottom of the village. There's been sightings in that garden behind my house.
It is scary when you think about it.